Man, you already know who it is, man. It's your boy Feefo 24/7, Dead in Sports, DE365, the place where sports opinions collide. Shout out to Spike Lou and Shelton, you know what I'm saying, for bringing up this topic, man. I've been asking the dudes for evergreen content. And the question is, what football player made you fall in love with the game of football? Very interesting question. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I have two. I have two guys. The first one is Barry Sanders. Man, when I tell you, look, I was born and raised in Chicago, then I moved to Miami. Love my Dolphins, love my Bears. But Barry Sanders was something different. I don't know how many people really understand this, my stature, 5'6", way overweight nowadays. But in my heyday, I was a good 165, 175. You know what I'm saying? I might post a picture or two. But never really fell in love with the game of football like that from a playing perspective. But Barry Sanders was the first player I watched that made me want to play. It was just incredible to see a guy just be so slippery. So he was literally like a bowling ball or a rubber ball just bouncing off of dudes, spin moves. He set you up with the long step and then he would high step, not on purpose, kind of like Dion, but, he would high step to make sure that you couldn't get at his feet and things of that nature. And I thought it was interesting. Like I remember watching a documentary or something like that about Barry, and his dad said that the worst thing that they ever did with the Detroit Lions was put a fullback in front of him, clogged up the hole. They didn't let him kind of be creative behind the line of scrimmage because that's where Barry made a lot of people miss. One cool fact that maybe some people know or a lot of people know or maybe nobody knows is that Barry Sanders is the running back that has lost the most yardage ever. Behind the line of scrimmage, which is crazy because he's up there in terms of total yards all time. But Barry Sanders is the first player that I witnessed that I was like, I want to do that. Now, I told you I was going to give you a 2-for-1, and I mentioned his name already. The other Sanders, Deion Sanders. Deion was the Mayweather of football before there was even a Mayweather. Deion was very brash, had the Jerry curl, was in the Black Mecca, Atlanta, when he came onto the scene from Florida State. And I always gravitated toward the professional athlete that was brash about their skill set and then was able to back it up. And Deion was all that and then some. To me, the question is always asked or consistently asked about who's the greatest defender of all time. A lot of people say Lawrence Taylor. Can't argue that. Lawrence Taylor broke somebody's leg in half. Lawrence Taylor was literally unblockable. A lot of people say Reggie White, another person that I witnessed that I was just like, okay, he moves 300-pound linemen with one arm. Just get the hell out the way. But Deion, in my opinion, has always been my favorite defender, and I think the best defender because he took away a whole side of a field. And I've watched a lot of Deion films. I watched a lot of Deion documentaries. And, this just talks to his greatness and what he had to do to even get action. He would let wide receivers go and let the quarterback think that he was open. He would bait quarterbacks into throwing the ball and then boom, make up speed, get the pick. And you already know, high stepping, doing his thing, doing his dance. But yeah, man, Deion was the first defender that I felt that I could emulate until I got onto the football field and got burnt. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't have the physical tools to do what that man does. And that's when I really realized how special you have to be to do what Deion did in the league. And not only on the football field. If this man wanted to play baseball, he would have been one of the all-time great baseball players. So when we're talking about just pure athletes, Deion was one of those guys. A lot of you guys know Deion being a head coach right now. What's the college he's at? Jackson State? A lot of y'all know him for being in Jackson State as a head coach. I beg you, you're already on YouTube. Just type in Deion Sanders highlights and just be blown away about what this man was able to do. And then right after that or before that, type in Barry Sanders highlights and see what these guys were able to do back in the heyday. But I'm out. Those are the two guys that really made me fall in love with the game of football. Peace.